Okay, this is Ross Trachtenberg from Westchester University, and I'm going to review your video here. I think a first pointer would be taking your time before each swing to make sure you're really set up and in a good position, just like you would do in a game situation. So I almost get in this stance where I have you paused here, pretend that there's a pitcher on the mound, and kind of just pause here for a second as if you're waiting for the pitcher to start his pitch. As we go through your swing here in slow motion, a big area that I'll focus on will be your lower half. And I think, here you're in a really good position where your feet are straight, your hips are straight. And also, a real positive thing here is your head is really centered here on your body. So, this is a decent position to swing from. As we move forward, we get to a position, again, focusing on the lower half where your feet, again, still in a good straight line. Our feet, again, really positive in terms of front foot being slightly closed to first base, not all the way pointing the pitcher, while the back foot is turned really nicely to the pitcher. An area that I'd like to focus on with you would be, where your head's looking when you're done your swing. And with that in mind, we want to keep our head down, looking towards the ball, towards the point of contact. You hear coaches perhaps saying to you, keep your head on the ball, keep your eye on the ball. A good way to practice that is to leave your head pointing downward to the tee if you're doing a tee drill like this, just to make sure you're really exaggerating, keeping your head on the point of contact as long as possible. But this follow through is something that we'll focus on a few times here as we go through your swings. So again, we'll look at each one here, and I'll give you some other drills you can do as well with the tee or otherwise. But we go through this swing here, and in terms of working off of a tee, a great thing to do is to try and work on your consistency here. So previous swing compared to this swing would be the placement of your right hand being off the bat when you're done your swing, as compared to on the bat. If you're right-handed, which I'm guessing you are based on the swing, a good idea is to try and keep your right hand on the bat, and the follow through in terms of that right hand probably should be somewhere up in this range and still on your bat at that point. It could release, but we want to get that right hand through. So a drill that you can do to really focus on getting that right hand through, and again, that's your dominant or stronger hand, is to get yourself in this stance right here to begin with, and then just remove your left hand from the bat. And you're just going to swing with just your right hand. This is just called a one-arm drill. Go through your full swing as you normally would, but just with the one hand and focusing on getting that right hand through. And, if we do that, your hand will get through the swing and can follow through naturally. Your next swing, you can set up and take your right hand off the bat and swing with just your left. This might be more difficult just because you're now working with your less power in your left arm than your right arm. So you can certainly choke up on the bat when you do this. But if we go ahead and swing just with our left hand here, again, we can try and get through our swing as best as possible. So one-arm drills is a suggestion. Another drill I'd recommend is breaking down your swing. And this is a pretty good follow-through point we want to get to. So we'll kind of go through the drill with the goal of getting to a good follow-through. So you're going to get into your stance. And to start with, we're just going to try and, again, pause in this position so your coach or your parent can say, set position. And some keys here is to check your feet, making sure, we've got our feet in really good positions there, making sure our body is nice and strong where it is in that position. Then the next command would be to stride, which would be just to there, and you'd pause in this position. And something you want to key in on here is your front foot. You sort of have your heel up, which is okay, but we're starting to open this foot towards the pitcher a bit. And we also have our front shoulders really closed off. So we're taking our body away This can generate a little bit of power, but can also make us long to the ball or make our hands be very far away from the ball. So you can see the distance your hands have gone away from the ball rather than being in a position where they can fire straight to it. So again, first we're going to say stance, then we're going to say stride, pause here, and then swing. And we want to swing and then freeze on your follow through. And as I mentioned earlier, we can look at different points of your follow through and areas you can key in on here. Back foot, I think we'd like to see that foot turned a bit more and have the heel up. Your front foot, however, I think that's in a really good position there. Your hips have turned nicely here, but as we mentioned earlier, you can see where that head is looking, kind of where your body's going away from home plate. So again, just mechanically, those are some areas you can focus on if you break down your swing, stance, stride, swing, and freeze. You can kind of see the mechanics building from there. And just with the end of that slide kind of falling off the plate a little bit, which in a game situation, I can think we want to be really going in the other direction, running towards first base. And lastly, I just want to give you one more drill here. With the tee, which is an excellent tool to use, we can then go ahead and set up a tee here outside or here inside and work to hit pitches in different locations. You can do that off of the tee or can certainly do that with front flips or if you're working off of a pitching machine. And that can just challenge you a little bit. But just want to again pause here. With the follow through, you can see again where your weight's kind of heading, your momentum's kind of taking you away from the ball. The front foot we can see in this swing here is starting to open up, but a good turn on the backside. So again, when we're working off of a tee, the ball's not moving, so it allows us to kind of be in a very controlled environment, and that allows us to really work on repeating our swing. And as a coach, if we can be starting in a good position and we can end in a good position, we probably had a good swing. And this one, your last swing here, again, just highlighting, really good job front foot, really good job with the back foot. The hips are turned to a position where they've really, kind of fired 90 degrees towards the pitcher. But again, just a final note here, his head's kind of upright. And I think we can, work towards getting our head looking more down towards that point of contact. I hope this has been helpful in terms of some instruction.